This AI video was generated automatically from a single boring product photo. And this system is the reason I believe most freelancers should stop trading their time for money and build an asset like this. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to build an app that does this. Look, the freelancer grind is a trap. You're constantly chasing new clients, negotiating rates, and every dollar that you make is tied to an hour of your time. The only way to scale is to work more. And that's not a business. That's a prison. The alternative, you build a system, a digital asset that works for you 24/7. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a SaaS app that lets anyone upload a photo and get a viral style UGC ad back. The magic is in this n8n workflow, which acts like the AI brain for our app. And I'll show you the exact moment when the front-end app or website connects to this brain to make the magic happen. Every system needs a storefront, and I'll be using a vibe coding app called Lovable to build a user interface in minutes. And you can use any front-end builder, but in my experience, this is the fastest. We start with one simple prompt. I'm telling it to create a clean premium UGC ad builder for something that looks like this. I've given it sections, headlines, subheaders, the type of theme that I'm looking for, section ideas, and basic guidelines. And most importantly, the form where the user would upload their own image. So for the example that I showed you, I took a LaCroix can of soda and I uploaded it inside of the site. I then gave it an ad description. So for this example, it was a 23-year-old influencer holding a can of soda. And then once the user clicks on generate UGC ad, it will then trigger a webhook inside of n8n. And the webhook needs to send two payloads. The first is the product image and the second is the ad description. This is where n8n comes in. n8n is the automation backend. It's the engine that will actually generate the AI video. And the first step is to create a bridge between the website and the AI brain. And in automation, that bridge is called a webhook. So you can see that the workflow starts with a webhook node. And this is the address that I'm sending to Lovable once the generate UGC ads button has been pressed. This is where the payload needs to be sent. And you can see in the output, it's the LaCroix can of soda that I uploaded. The second node is a save image node for Google Drive. And the reason for this is because I need a URL for the describe image node that comes later. I then need to change the permissions so OpenAI can see it and it can describe the image. And then you add an analyze image node from OpenAI. I'm using Fora Mini because it's very affordable and I don't really need a heavy duty language model to do this. And this is the prompt that I'm giving it. It has to be very descriptive. And the reason for this is because I need the typography, I need the colors, I need the styles, I need to know what the fonts look like. I need as much detail as possible before I create the video. And then for the input type, it's going to be the image URL. And for the URL, I'm just going to take the web content link from the save image node, which is this field here. When it runs, you'll see a content output like this. And you can see that it's given us the brand name, the color scheme, the hex codes, the color styles, the font styles, basically everything we need to recreate this in VO3, which comes later downstream. Once we have that, we can then create the image prompt. So this is an AI agent. And for the first prompt, I've just given it some system guidelines. Now, if you're building this for yourself, for your own e-commerce store or business, then you put in your own requirements in it. And if you're doing this for clients, just make sure that the prompting matches their expectations. And I've got two inputs here. The first is a user description from Lovable.dev. And the second is the description of the reference image, which is the content output from the describe image node. And so you have an output that looks something like this on the right hand side. When you run it, you're going to create a new variable called image prompt. And this has now been optimized for text to video. You want to toggle on require specific output format. And because of that, we're going to need the output parser. So for this, the code is very simple. This is basic JSON. And we've asked the AI agent to create a new variable called image prompt. And then everything you see inside of these brackets here, this will be filled in by the language model. And for the language model, I'm just using 2.5 Flash from Google Gemini because it's free through the API and it's super quick. And then once we have the image prompt, we can now create the image. So this is a HTTP request node and the service I'm using is file.ai. It's a post method and it will require some body, which is JSON. So make sure you toggle both of these on. And then for the payload that we're going to send back to file.ai, we need two variables. The first is prompt and the second is image URLs. So for the prompt, you just get that from the previous node, which is the image prompt generator. And remember, this is optimized for VO3. And then for the image URLs, we're just going to get that from the save image node, which is the Google Drive node. And it's the web content link. And so you know what? It's worked because it's green and it's mapped on the right hand side in the result window. When it runs, you'll see an output like this and the status will be in queue because it normally takes anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds to generate a text to image asset. And so because of that, I've added a wait node. And this is usually anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds. And what we need is a status change from in queue to completed. And then once it's done, we can create a new node called get image. This is another HTTP request node. The method is get. And this time we're just going to get the response URL. So once the image is being completed, it will be saved here, which is a cloud location on file.ai. And you can always check it as well, just by clicking on the image. So now that we have the image, we can now use it to generate the video prompt and bring it all together for the final output. The next node is an AI agent node. And for the prompting, I'm just telling it to give it a UGC style video prompt using the reference image, which is from the previous node, which is get to image. And you just drag the URL over. And then we're going to use a description, which comes over from the webhook. And that's just this field here. Just confirm it on the right hand side, just to make sure that everything is mapped and you have everything you need. And then we're going to require a specific output to be toggled on. And then for the system prompt, I've given it a longer message. And the reason for this is because the image to video, text to video is the most expensive part of the entire process. So I want to make sure that I get it right. And so I've given it a reference image, I've given it some user notes, and I wanted to create a natural UGC style video prompt. The main thing is just accuracy and in the style of your brand or your client's brand. You also want to avoid any copyrighted characters, phrases, symbols, anything like that. And I've also said I don't want any text on the video. And it's very important that you give it some guardrails and some examples of the kinds of things that you're looking for. So once the video prompt has been created, you'll see something like this. And then for the language model, I'm using 2.5 Flash again, and we need the output parser. So this one is called video prompt, and it's just a very basic JSON video prompt dynamic field. Once we have that, we can now create the video. So you want to add a new HTTP request node, just call it create video. This time it's a post method. And for this, we're going to use VO3. It's going to be image to video. Add your file.ai credentials, and then we're going to send some body. The body is always JSON, so make sure it's toggled for JSON using JSON. And then input for the prompt is going to be the video prompt from the video prompt generator. And then for the image URL, you get it from the get image node, which is the URL field. Just drag this over and move it across. You know it's worked because it's mapped, but just double check it in the result right hand side. When you run it, it'll be in queue. And image to video takes the longest time. This will take a few minutes. Once it's done, you'll see a status like this, which is in queue. So again, I'm going to add another wait for video node. Now this one can be anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. It really depends on how busy file.ai is. And then once it's done, you can then add a get video node. So add your authentication. This time it's a get method because we're pulling it off from their servers. And we already know where it is because file.ai tells us. And we know it's in the response underscore URL field, which is this URL here. So it's saved on their cloud servers. And you can see that it's worked because you've got the output here, you've got the content type, which is MP4, the file name, which is output, and the file size. And you can click on the URL and test it inside of a browser. You can also send this to any other location. So you can email it to a client, you can upload it into their Airtable or whatever UGC style management system that they have. From a single product shot to a dynamic, ready to post UGC ad. This is what building an asset looks like. You don't get paid the 20 to 30 minutes it took to build this. You get paid for the value that it creates forever. And clients are absolutely ready to pay for this. I'm on Upwork and I've done a search for UGC AI videos. The first search result is a client in Australia. They want AI UGC video ad content. I'm looking for a skilled AI video creator who can produce high quality ad style videos, showcasing my beauty and self-care products. Here's another one, a UGC video creator for high performing Facebook ads, fitness industry. This client's in the United States and they spent well over $200,000 just on Upwork. The estimated budget is $50 and that's probably like an hourly budget, but you can easily negotiate with these clients and sell this as a service. I know this for a fact because I do it myself. And here's another one, Facebook ad creative specialist, premium skincare brand relaunch. They have a budget of $1,800. And again, don't get too fixated on that because when you show them the value that you're bringing to the table, honestly, the amount of money that they're going to throw at you doesn't even matter because compared to the existing business model of paying influencers thousands of dollars to do this, your solution with Lovable and n8n comes in at a fraction of the cost. And I know this as somebody who used to run ads for major e-commerce brands. The influencer videos were always the biggest bottlenecks. And honestly, e-commerce brands will absolutely throw money at a solution that overcomes this. And if you want to grab this powerful workflow and save yourself hours whilst building a sustainable business, then click on the link in the description and follow the on-screen instructions. Sign up to my AI community and I'll see you on the inside. And this is the new way. Stop thinking like a freelancer and start thinking like a system builder. Build one asset like this and it can serve 10 or even 100 clients without you lifting a finger. And if this video has opened your eyes, do me a favor and smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already and turn your notifications on for more videos like this. I'm somebody that runs an AI agency and I'm doing this for a living. And all the content that you see on this channel will always be 100% free. So I'll see you next time with another great video on how you can use AI to make more money, save time, find clients, or just have fun.